Great. Okay. Welcome. Hi. Familiar faces. How are you doing?
Hey, what's going on?
Excellent. Welcome, everyone. Love the energy. We'll get us going. We've got our vendor spotlight Scatterscape. We'll start off with you. Oh, man, come on up here. Let me get you a mic. Here you go. Are you responsible for that?
Yes. There's some crumble cookies in the back.
Doing?
Yeah, exactly. Power lunch, you know.
Yep.
Sponsoring a healthy lifestyle. Is this my PowerPoint or?
Nope.
Let me bring that up real quick.
Absolutely.
So I'm Christopher Maupin. I'm the owner of Scatterscape. We got 25 photographers across Utah, and we're growing. So I want to give you guys kind of a quick run through. We're a preferred vendor for Keller Williams in a few different offices, including this one. But want to get back in front of you guys and just reacquaint. So just real quick, our shtick and what makes us a little bit unique is that whenever you book us, that's when we're going to be there. So there's no cable guy hours here where it's like we're going to be there between 12 and 4 and then we're going to reschedule. We've had one no show in 4 years. That photographer isn't with us anymore. So yeah, I mean, we do dozens of jobs a day. We're really, really good at this. We aim to be as operationally easy to work with as possible. So we do listing photos, Matterport 3D tours, video walkthroughs, drone, yes. Yes, we can. Yes. I'll get to that in a minute. Are you talking about where you have a blueprint or? Yes. Got a few different options for that. So we'll talk about that in a second. We also do virtual staging, which kind of ties into, I think, what Carrie's talking about today. And I'll talk about that in a little bit here. And graphic design, rendering, and drone, of course. So again, if you book us for 9:30 tomorrow, which if you booked us today, we would be there at 9:25. Yeah. So just some examples of our work, just so you know that we're legit. We've 3D scanned over 3,000 properties now. I mean, we're just like, we've been doing this a while. I started this company with just myself and one camera when I came to this country. And now look at what it's grown into. That was a joke. From Oklahoma. Sorry, it's foreign country to me. But this is home now. So, a little humor for the morning, but sometimes you feel like maybe your only option is to re-stimulate that interest in the listing is lower the price, do it, lower the price. Before you do that, I just want to talk to you about a few quick, easy, and very cheap ways that you might be able to re-stimulate some interest. If you've got a zombie listing like this and stuff is sitting on the market a little bit longer. Speaking as a buyer, someone who's bought several houses, myself, you get numb to what you see when you pull up that Zillow or Utah real estate page or whatever. You've seen that same front shot of that house for 4 weeks and you've kind of started to exclude it from your mind. Oh, that house with the brown gable, that one, I don't like that one. Looks brown inside, Sometimes maybe before you go and touch the price, a new set of listing photos, $120. I mean, a very easy and quick way to kind of freshen up that listing. And also a way to show your client like, hey, I'm still doing stuff. Like, sometimes it's just a waiting game, but they need to see something tangible to like help with the anxiety. $120 to get the client off your back and maybe get some new buyers looking at it is, I think, a pretty sweet deal. You'll get 25 photos with that, inside and out, premium experience. They're all going to be magazine quality. Virtual staging, and I know Carrie's going to talk about this too, but you don't always have to stage every house for $2,000 and wait for weeks for people to come and show up with the furniture and pay rental on it and all that. Sometimes for some listings, $129 for 5 virtually staged photos. All of the furniture in that photo is fake. That was a totally empty room when we took a picture of it. Next day turnaround, $129, 5 images. It's just another great way to spice up a listing. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Sure. Yes. We can. It depends on. It's not always possible, but we will try. So if you can send us the pictures, we'll look at it and we'll be able to tell you before we do it, like this is doable or not. Sometimes if it's things that are kind of flat up against the wall, pretty easy. If it's stuff that's real bulky out in the center of the room, it's a little tougher. But always, send us your pictures. We'll take a look and we can tell you within, 20 or 30 minutes whether this is something you can do or not. Yeah. That's a great question. We get that too, like stains on the carpet or just like, a really obnoxious poster that you just need edited out of a photo. We can help you with that stuff. So yeah. Twilight photos, and back to virtual staging. Even if you have photos from another vendor, someone else took the picture or you took the picture, we can virtually stage those. So talk to us, okay? If not, have us come out and we'll photograph it. And the same goes for Twilight. We use a rendering process to do Twilight, so we don't actually go out there in the evening. That way we don't have to bother your seller twice, and it ends up looking better. Both of those pictures were taken in the daytime. So if you have daytime photos and you want to turn them into Twilight, just so that when they pull up that Zillow thing again, the first picture they see is now a Twilight. It's like, oh, wait, what's that house? I'll look at that again. Like getting a new haircut, Yes. Oh, no, you're right on that. Yeah, you're totally right on. Yeah. You want to add a deck onto it, No. You're totally right. And I glossed over that. I was thinking about the case where it's been fixed since you've had the photo taken, But yeah, actually we won't do that. Like when people are like, hey, there's a hole in the wall here. But don't worry, we'll get it fixed. We usually will say no to that until we can know that it's actually fixed. But that's a great point to bring up. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the MLS. We got tons of 5-star reviews. We'd really like to talk with you guys. And I just wanted to drop here. Oh, our text is a little weird, but if you make an order before October 31st, special offer for you guys, South Valley 10, if you put that in at the time you book and you choose the pay now option, you'll save 10% on your order. Thanks, guys. Yeah, we've started to. It's been hard to break into that. I mean, we're so big up here, but it's starting to happen. So thank you guys so much. Any questions, anything? Oh, yes. Yes, we do. Yep. 3D tours. Oh, and I wanted to come back on real quick on floor plans. We can create a floor plan dollhouse view. We can also create actual architectural floor plans of a house if you have us go in there and 3D scan it. And we can render from a floor plan. So if you work with a builder and you have the blueprints, but you need that beautiful rendering of what it's going to look like when it's done, we can help you with that too. Anyone else? There was another question. I'm sorry. Basically, all throughout the valley down into St. George as well. If you book us a job out in Vernal or something, or Sanpete, there may be a travel charge for that. But all the way up to Southern Idaho, no travel charge. Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. And you can see all this on our website. You'll see it. It's very transparent when you book. $119 is our basic HDR photo package. That's just listing photos inside and out. That's where you have the window pulls where it looks dark outside and all that stuff. You can add on to that drone, $99. You can add on you can do our Matterport in listing photos package, $249. You can do our video walkthrough tour in listing photos package, $229. And then we have like a luxury package, just all the bells and whistles, $499. No, it's video. Yeah. So we go through with the stabilizing thing, and then we edit it, put it with music. We also have our own custom little single page that pops up, so it's kind of a nice presentation when they click on the MLS and they click for the view tour. Yeah. So yeah. You don't have no, it's just in the phone. So when you go to scatterscape.com, we've made it obnoxiously clear where to book. Like it's all the time, like book here. So if you click that, you just click the time you want, enter the details, and then you have the option to pay now or pay later, except for the basic HDR photo package. That one you have to pay upfront. Anything else? feel like I just fire hosed you guys. Really? Oh, really? We've been looking for you. And good point on that. I actually have a listing presentation flyer PDF. Maybe I can have Barry send out to you guys. And I have a photo checklist for your clients. It's a nice one that's like, hey, remember to do this, remember to do that. Kind of just helps us help you type thing. And also gives them something to do, you know. Next morning. Yeah. That was a real pleasure to participate in. I'm going to turn it back over to you. I lost my first wife to cancer, so that cause is near and dear to my heart. So that's actually why I started this business. So thanks a lot, guys. Thank you so much. Enjoy the cookies in the back.
Thank you. That was great. Shift us back here. Want to, on that note, just, you guys are probably noticing we've got a lot of newer faces. Some people recognize each other, but just want to say if you have signed on with us in the last 30 days, will you just raise your hand real quick? Yes. Isn't that amazing? Welcome. These are amazing people. If you didn't raise your hand, you need to get to know them. You need to get to know these ladies. And you didn't raise your hand, like I said, ladies, and Eric as well. Haven't signed on, so we're assuming the sale. Yep, they did say, I mean, possibly right after this. We'll see. I don't know. They got a couple things they want to think about, but no, you guys, but really just so grateful. We're happy that you guys are here and want you to feel welcome. And there we go. Hope everyone is healthy on Zoom. Feel better, whoever that was. So yes, welcome. Let's move forward on the next things coming up. So we've got our social media strategy that's coming up on Thursday from 2:30 to 3:30 here. Market report, we've talked about that. This is tomorrow morning, right? 26 is tomorrow. That's from 10 to 11:30. This is it's a Zoom. The registration for that, it was sent out through email. Say that again. So kwutah.com. If you didn't see the email or want to just go and find it right now, go to kwutah.com. You can register. It's a Zoom link, and you'll get the link, and you can show up. This is of any time in the market. This is where we need to be in front of any extra information on local market direction and what's going on, because we need to be the local experts for our clients. So if you feel like the local expert already, it's still worth it to come and listen to this, just so that there might be something else that you can take and use in a listing presentation or something for your clients. This is quarterly. Yep. And this is focused on just our Utah market. They'll bring in stats across the nation as well, but it'll focus here. Yeah, so we record it. Say that again louder, and then I'll repeat it for Zoom. So on our Facebook page after. Yes, it's where you can go and rewatch it. Johnny Christensen, our regional director, he's coming in and teaching Meet the Masters, which is a program that we try to bring in someone who is a master at something and bring them in at least once a month. And this one is 10 steps to 10 million. That is the journey to wealth building. So 10 million in net worth. Not necessarily 10 million in your overall production. This is how do you become a millionaire for real. And Johnny is he's got a a great net worth himself. So great one to listen to. That's at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Sorry, Thursday, the 27th. That is in person. Yep. Okay. Next one, Heather Roxburgh. She's a rock star agent as well. So she's going to be talking about mastering your marketing to maintain consistent business. That's something that she does exceptionally well, is marketing to her database. And so we're going to learn some tips and tricks from her. That's November 10th at 1 o'clock. Yeah. Let me give you this. You're good.
I just wanted to add to the Heather Roxburgh, like obviously she's a rock star, but one of the biggest things in talking to her about doing this is she has been through a shifting market and maintained her production, or it increased. So that's why I think it's so important that we listen to her. She's been through this before and is able to do it. So
awesome. Thank you for that comment. I'll just let you keep that. And then Boyd Brown, he is, if a lot of us know him or might not recently, but he has ownership in this office, other offices as well. Does a lot of commercial real estate, and very intelligent and well established. He's done a lot in his business, built a lot of different businesses, and he's talking about business planning clinic. That is the end of November after Thanksgiving. So that's on the 29th. This is where we basically plan out, figure out what your goal is, figure out the exact step-by-step what you need to do in order to obtain and reach that goal. Oh, last one is our Christmas party. This is on December 6th from 6 to 9. And if you don't already have your 20s outfit, then you can look for that or go and order that or whatever you need to, but it should be fun. So it's a 20s theme.
I don't know. Okay, there it is. It's come and go as you want. 6 to 9. We'll be serving food the whole time. We'll have a live band, dancing, drinks. It's gonna be fun.
Yep. As for you and your spouse.
It's at the Azalea in Daybreak.
+1.
You and a +1. And my Google form did not work very well. So if you get an error, just email me if you're coming. We just need to get a rough head count for food.
Excellent. And Amy did send out an email yesterday
Yes.
with details and just a head count, letting us know. So if this QR code or something isn't working, then find that email. But yeah, it should be fun. We want to just enjoy and have a good night with you guys. And again, bring your it's for +1 as well. Excellent. We want to turn the time over to Miss Carrie. Carrie is amazing, and if there's anything that she does, I don't know who's been to Carrie's house. I wish my house was decorated as nice as hers. She does a fantastic job, and let's give her the floor. Excellent. Do you want to clip or? Okay.
So I was a stager for many years. I get this is gonna be
Whichever.
for many years. I started a home building company with my spouse in 2007 in Utah County, and it grew and grew and grew to be one of the top high-end custom home builders in Utah County, and still is. In the beginning, it wasn't that way. We started with one client where I would go in, and to help him secure a build, I would say, all right, my services will be free. I'll go to every appointment with you and help you get this home just how you want it. So that's how it started. And then 2009 came and nothing slowed us down. For some reason, builders were just dropping off because, to be quite honest, they'd spent so much money on toys and things for themselves that they didn't have enough business revenue to hold themselves together during that time. So it gave us an opportunity to just grow and grow. I don't know if any of you remember those 2009 days in Utah County with the parade of homes, but there was one year where they said, we will let you as builders open up your own homes because they didn't even have enough entries to sustain the parade. Then there was another year. So we did that. We opened up our home. And then the next year, it was still a little bit shaky. And we built this gorgeous home for a client. But by the time they were finished with it, their furnishing budget just shrunk. So I had to move every single item from my home and move it all over to her house and stage her house. This might be like the reason why I'm divorced now. Truly, it took a lot of effort. So anyway, I just wanted to give you a little bit of my background. I'm passionate about design and decor, but I also want to make this, I want to put this power back on you. I think sometimes we think we need a stager, when in reality, you don't. You just need to go shopping for a few simple items and spruce up what they have. I want you to walk into the homes as a visionary, not what it is, but what it can be. I think that's something that I'm not good at a lot of things, but I can do that. So I want to teach you a little tricks of the staging trade today so that you're more empowered to go about and not spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on stagers, which by the way, are not all created equally. And some of the furniture that they bring in is broken and you would have done better without. So that's where we're going to start. So in this packet, we're just going to walk through a home. And this is how I did a lot for Amy in the beginning. And I would send her page by page, picture by picture. This is what I would change. This is what I would change. And I kind of want you to think about doing that same thing. If you're worried about being the bad guy, there's always a way to deliver it without being insulting. Amy liked me to come in because I would just flat out say, okay, this has got to go. This has got to go. You can blame it on me. I was the buffer. There was a house that was like walking into the Garden of Eden. I have never in my life seen so many green plants. You know what I'm talking about. And this woman was passionate about her plants. So we just decreased them by a third and everyone was happy. I don't even know where she put the ones. They probably died that we made her take out, but she sold the house. So that's what matters. Oh yeah, literally. I wish I had a picture. So I want to start with Annie Cannon is a sweetheart, and she helped me put together this before and after staging video. So we're going to watch it and laugh a little bit. I don't know how to do that. I'm not that skilled. So before and afters, these are the best. Okay, this one right here, if this thing works correctly, which it's not, I'll just be up here. Okay, let's just start here. Don't know why this picture is blurry, but please get the picture here. So this is a home that was listed. And this was, unfortunately, the before pictures and also the after pictures. So I just found this on Zillow. And this is an example of a case that you can solve yourself. Just go in and say, let's declutter. Maybe one less post-it on the cabinet. Nearly killed me when I saw it. I thought you would enjoy it. So let's walk through the house, starting with the entry. You pull up to their house. You look at the exterior and you see that there might be a few things that they need to spruce up. So let's just open the little packet and talk about the curb appeal. The staging starts outside of the house, not when you're actually in the home. So look at it with a keen perspective on this is the first image they see. You might have a house that the front porch is chock full of furniture or plants again, or maybe their ground cover is old and dusty and might need a little sprucing up. That's your job to be able to say, this is my value as an agent. I'm going to help you solve these problems. So make notes, stand on the outside with them. Say, we probably should redo this area right here. That's if it's not winter, it's not thriving anymore. Or maybe you plant flowers, little simple flowers. I personally like the same color of flower, so it's not overwhelming to some. You always have to think of other people and what they can handle as far as color goes. Always safe to do neutrals. So if you don't want to waste your time with that, get some planters and just fill them on the porch. Go through their items and say, let's declutter anything. I have this rule of thumb. If anything is smaller than a football, it's clutter. You don't need it. So we pin down all those problems and then we move inside. So yes, everything. And that will, you're going to need to get boxes. You're going to need to go to whatever Home Depot and get boxes. Yeah. So you can always do, I'm a believer that you can deliver it in a kind way. So they're still living in their home and we want to make it a little more simple. So let's just read the simplicity part. You're going to find photographs and memorabilia and family and pictures of Jesus because we live in Utah. Okay, can we just talk about this for a second? I love Jesus, but I just don't want him throughout the entire house. I wish Rich was here because I just did this on one of his houses. I kid you not, there was one at every turn. And I had to be the bad guy and say, let's pipe it down and let's just have one or two, because believe it or not, the only law that you must obey when it comes to Jesus is just not having too much of him. It's actually offensive if people don't believe the things that we believe or you believe or I believe. They don't need Greg Olson everywhere. So just in a kind way, have them take a few down. And yes, Becky. That's right. That's right. Same goes with political things. You want to make sure that that's not up there showing the world what they believe. So buyers sometimes have a hard time seeing past the homeowner's personal taste. They have a hard time if every room has every pillow throw and color. They don't even want that. The husband, I guarantee you, goes into the house looking at the structural, looking at the bare bones. They want to see how big a room is. The woman is a little different. She wants to walk in perhaps and maybe see what potential she might have. If I move into this house, this is what it's going to look like. So you have to find just a healthy balance between the two. Well, like I said, back to the Jesus pictures, if you want, you can take them down and put a mirror. A mirror also, as you know, adds space. It reflects light. It makes rooms appear larger. So that would be a good thing to have on hand. I'm giving them boxes to make their job easier, and I'm putting a Post-it note on everything I feel should be removed so that they know later. They can remember what we needed to simplify on. Does that? Yeah. Oh, no, we don't have time for that. Yeah, we're enabling them to do it. And they're already going to move. So it's like saving them a trip to the store to box things up. It has to do with, did you get that? Are you good? Okay. All right. It's just, you can even remind them and say, hey, this is helping you in your move. We're not saving it all to the end. You're I write very specific. Okay, so for Zoom, I need to. He asked, remind me.
I asked, you put a Post-it note up for everything that needs to be removed. So I asked if she also writes on the Post-it note what to replace it with, like a mirror replacing a picture of Jesus.
And that, thank you. And that would be in areas that really need something. If it doesn't, I just simply say, take it down and here is a spackling kit. So they have to take it all down eventually anyway. Let's skip to a little bit later in that paragraph. We want them to imagine the rooms as if they were decorated in their own style. Buyers are also going to be curious about the closet space. So here's my rule of thumb on the closet space. It needs to be 1/2 to 3/4 full because everyone has so much stuff. They want to see that the current owner of the home even has more room, that they didn't even use all the space. So that helps with perspective of what they could move in there. If you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Also, remove the valuables. There are medications and there are jewelry. There's no need. It doesn't enhance the way that the home looks. It's safer for your clients too. Yes. Yeah, that's a great point. Anything to make it not a personal thing. So when you're opening the home to prospective buyers, it's important that everything functions properly. This goes especially for homes that are vacant because the prospects don't have anything else to look at, but they're going to go and try all the appliances and there's no other distraction. So just make sure if it's something that a client would use every day, that it's in full repair. And I always suggest make sure when they're doing the paint repairs, they open their windows because the natural light does help pick out flaws in the stucco or maybe kids that have dinged certain areas. These all, they're little things, but they all make a huge difference in the end. And you don't have to pay a stager to do it. So let's talk about rugs for a minute. I love rugs. I love when a rug will pull everything in a room and anchor it. That's my one rule. If it's not anchoring furniture, let's let them see the flooring. We're blocking the beautiful floors by rugs that have been walked on, and it just doesn't look crisp to me. This goes especially for shower mats. I don't want to see shower mats with wet feet print, and I don't want to see all their shampoos. So what I do is, that's another reason why you give a client a box. But for me, I would give them a little plastic container, like one that you get at the dollar store, where they can just put their shampoos and conditioners in it each day when they know there's a showing. They keep it under their cabinet, so it's easy to pull out and put back. But that's so easy and not expensive to take it. Well, I'm going to give you guys a shopping list at the end of this, okay? This is all going to be taken care of. Places that you can buy rugs if you feel like your client doesn't have one. TJ Maxx or Home Goods is right there at home, inexpensive. If you want a nicer feel, if it's a nicer home, then Garnet Hill is exceptional for rugs. Yeah.
I like ruggables, and the reason being is because you can wash them if you take them to your client's house and they have dogs and kids and spills. I love to use ruggables for runners, for door air in front of the doors, and even for under furniture.
That was brilliant.
Were really easy.
You want something that you can take and use for your next house. You're not leaving any of these items. I like you and you need to join the brokerage, okay? Because we would not have had that comment here if you weren't present. So I like you. Any other questions on rugs, things like that of the interior? Nope. Okay, let's move on. Now, we've decluttered the house. We've made it easy. Now it's going to be that much easier for the homeowner to keep it clean because they don't have stuff everywhere. I'll give you a hint right here too, is I think the garage should be treated like a regular room in the house. That's the man's living room. So make sure that they just don't take all of this stuff out of the house and throw it in the garage, especially the garages that have, you know, the steps that go down. I've seen so much junk stacked there. That's a walkway. We want to eliminate that. In fact, with the entire house, we want the buyers to walk a certain direction and the flow of the home. So that's why our furniture has to be placed in specific ways, in groupings, away from the wall. When we were newlyweds, we loved putting sofas right against the wall, but we're not newlyweds anymore. So let's bring them out into the room and make nice sitting spaces. It will make the house feel more purposeful. So I know that I go on tangents, but I'm just a firm believer. So the dirty tiles that they have, you simply, ask them to clean the grouts, and you're gonna have a little bit of responsibility on that side. You may not like having those conversations. Just remind them, this is ultimately for you. I want to get top dollar for your house. And these little things are noticed by buyers. Educate them on buyers and what they really look for. Because you never know if a buyer is looking for the dirty tiles or if they're just passing by. It's just safe to be safe. Yes. It's like Jeopardy or whatever.
I have a question and a comment, but I'll give you my comment. My comment was just, I like to group people together into, like, if I see that they're, what's a good example? If I see something that's dirty, like let's say the tile,
Yeah.
I say, oh my gosh, you know how it is. We all have these dirty tiles that just, we never get down there and scrub it. It's too hard. So that's one thing that you'll want to do here. But like I group them in with everybody, like me, you, all my clients, we all struggle with this thing. So, and my question was, normally I have my people pack everything up and put it in the garage because there's nowhere else to put it. And I want them to clear out the house. So how would we do with that?
You can have some in the garage, but if it's in a walkway, that's not good. You can always rent a storage unit if the house really requires it. If there's a lot of stuff, you may want to hint on that for them. So that was a really good point. Always put it back on yourself. I do the same thing at my house, and I think that we should do this here too. So details. Let's talk about the details. During an open house, you can expect guests to open everything. I have horror stories from the parade. If you want, you can even tape your toilet shut. So it really depends on the client. Some of our upper end clients, you really have to treat as very carefully, and you've got to get top dollar for their house. So you really want to go about this with grace, if that's for lack of a better word. So they will open the cupboards. They're going to look and make sure. And, you can simply just like change your coffee mugs to all have the same look or lined up the same way. You think that's stupid, but it's a room. Your cabinet is just like any other space. They long to be organized like you. So if your house is organized, that's in their mind. I'm going to be able to be organized. Okay, let's talk about place settings. So every home that I have ever staged has something like this. Even if there are bunnies on the placemats, it's okay in some houses. So this is just a simple example of what I would do with the table or the dining area. They want to know what it's like when it's fully abode with all the necessities, and they get to have families there. It's like they're serving other people immediately. So big difference. Instead of that big brown, maple table that they have, just add interest and imagination for them. Also, since we're up here, fresh lemons. Okay, as an agent, I know you can afford fresh lemons. It's so nice to see something fresh in the house. Lemons are a color that goes with anything. Your homeowners will even have a bowl. If they don't, you can have one on stock. I'm sure you have them in your house to let them borrow. But this is something I love putting on the kitchen bar. They're going to have a lot of things on the kitchen bar that will need to be put underneath the cabinets. I always, with the rule of the football, I also say, if it is not a daily necessity, let's put it under the cupboards. So a little hint there. Fresh flowers. I really like having fresh flowers in the entry or somewhere in the kitchen. I just didn't have time to go to Harmon's this morning, so We have a fake flower or greenery. So that makes a difference. It's living, it smells good. Now, this is my favorite of all subjects, okay? We've all had houses that smell amazing, and then we've all had houses that are a little less fortunate. So this is a life changer. It's eucalyptus mint. I can have someone walk into an $8 million home during the parade, and they don't even comment on the house. They just want to know what scent I used. Happened every day at the parade. So I promise you, this is a clean smell. It's not overwhelming. It is not fruity. So I have found it to be pleasant for all nose types. It's so expensive or inexpensive at Bed Bath and what is it called? Bed Bath Beyond Body Works. Thank you. And you can use them on your next house too. Your homeowners will love it also. I want to be clear here. So basically you want potential buyers, or better thought of as guests to the home, to be as comfortable as possible. In the great part, their home buying decision will be based upon how comfortable the home was during their visit. Maintaining a neat, pleasant environment and being liberal with air conditioning is so important. It changes the way they view the home is how they feel. So I'm sure you've all had experiences with it. It makes a difference. During an open house, you can expect guests to open everything like we talked about. We've already gone over that. You are showing the best and highest potential of that home. So when they ask you, well, why are we doing all these boxes? I want to make sure that you get the best and highest offer here. Of course, they're going to be on your team with that. And the difference is completely in the details. I have a few extra things here that I want to talk about. So every house has books. And these are old. In fact, I bought these for one of the original parades we did. And I went to DI and just got all their old books that they had. That was the style in 2009, was just so much color. So, and then in the years past that or forward, I would just turn the books when the minimalistic, I don't want to see reds everywhere came. So if you want to invest in books for bookshelf, you can. There's an amazing company online that you could even order specific colors. That way you could have them forever. But I do think the trend now is going to start coming back where we want the front. We want to see color again. So honestly, this has nothing to do with anything. It was my daughter's dollhouse. I got it from Pottery Barn in 2000, and I simply just wanted to use it again. That's all. It's just like a house in daybreak. So fresh towels. This is something that you can have on hand as an agent. I don't like seeing used towels out. So you would just simply ask them to keep them under the counter in the box that you already provided. And then they have these fresh towels out. White goes with everything and it makes it look clean. Plus, you can go to Costco and get 4 for really affordable. And these are all things that you keep as agents. Oh, I'm so glad she said, tell them not to use them. Hands down, that's your property. Yes. Oh.
How much of the stuff do you keep at your house? I keep going back and forth in my mind. I'm like, is it worth it for me to buy all this stuff and keep it and then have to rebuy it every time it goes out of style, or pay a stager?
That's totally up to you. I'm really trying to help you buy things that don't go out of style, like lemons or white towels. Those things that you invest in won't go out of style. The thing that I have had, I have it in my garage because I'm not showing my house. But here's the thing is stagers right now are either so busy that they can't come exactly when you need them before pictures. So if they come later, this is a good interim move for you. Or stagers bring yucky stuff that they've had in a storage that they've used for years that isn't in style either. So I'm going to give you the shopping list at the end, and I promise it's something that you can just put away. And yeah, and you're asking these people kindly to remove things out of your home. So it really makes sense for you as the agent to say, and I'm going to be providing you things to fill the spaces too. So that helps. I know all of us have these jars everywhere. I hate boxes of Tide. So this would be something that you could purchase even at the dollar store. Have you guys seen those TikToks where they literally take time? Okay. No, with the Tide Pods, you don't have time for that. You're mega agents. Just do what you have. Oh, they have everything. Yes. And they're not only poured in, but they're like perfectly placed. Yes, exactly. And then on to this. Like these are from Walmart, but I don't want to see cereal boxes that are bent that can't close, which let's be honest, that's how they all are. So just keep a little stock of like 4 or 5. And even if this is as many as you have in a pantry, that's it. That's okay. Because pantries have to be treated like the rest of the house. The pantry is the hardest too, because they will have grandmother's punch bowl to large crock pots and just help them organize it in a closet. I don't like anything at the top because again, I want them to see that you didn't even fill the space, but it's free for you because if they can do it, you can do it too. That's how roomy it is. Just help them understand that their pantry is, especially if you're going to use the cost of a stager and their pantry's gross. You just got to make sure that it's just like any other room. Yes.
So one thing that I found, is especially even when Carrie used to do this for me, she doesn't anymore. She's just too busy. But my clients just want someone to tell them what to do. So I would give them a list and be like, hey, we're going to put a bowl of lemons here. Okay, let's get some fresh white towels. We're going to put them here. I never bought any of that for them. I just gave them the guidance of what we need. And they were very happy and excited to go and do it themselves. They just didn't know what they needed to do.
That is such a good point. And your higher end clients, this is nothing. This is a drop in the bucket. They're willing to do whatever it takes if you want them to buy the white towels. Then they can take it to their next house or whatever the towels might be. I always keep pillows and throws in a neutral color available. It's so nice to have neutral pillows no matter what the couch looks like. But what's funny is I guarantee if you look back, you're going to see a lot of sofas in red like that in houses that you just got to calm down a little bit. So even if it's an extra oversized throw or whatever it be, it's a neutral, great. Use it for the next. I know that I'm coming across as like anti-stager. Stagers are awesome. But when we don't have time and if we don't want to spend the money, you can do it. I'm putting the power back on you. This is so simple. So that's basically everything that's in this strategy book, with the exception of leave it to the professionals if you don't want to take it on. There are professionals, if they do have furniture, I would ask them to take pictures of the furniture before they bring it over, and then you find it all dented. But I do believe last week I was showing a buyer several homes in Provo, and they were all really old, in like 75. Not one of them had furniture, and that was not even brought up. So some of your homes, it might be okay with nothing but the fresh lemons. You're agents, you're the experts. Just go with your gut on those things, and make sure your clients know that you're just there to get the highest and the best. So I think that's it. Any questions? Oh, light. Yes, thank you. Let there be light. Always have a lamp handy. We have so many lamps in our homes. Even if you just took one over from your house, light really enhances especially when you're taking pictures or no.
I was just going to add to this thought on lights. Check your bulbs, warms and cools.
Oh,
I don't even know that it honestly matters to us as much. Just get them all on the same page. It, especially those vanity lights in the bathroom. Almost always one of them's burned out.
yes, or they replace it with an LED.
Yeah, just get them all the same. And you know, I honestly think that's a cheap thing you can get at Home Depot as a contractor pack of bulbs. And I mean, it makes a difference.
But they don't even see it. These are babies of real estate. Okay, here's your shopping list. If you choose, we're going to have white towels available. I would put Costco by the side of that. We're going to go to Bath and Body Works. Did I say it correctly? To get our eucalyptus mint. We're going to have, if they have really putrid, really? I said it for you. If they have really obnoxious drapes, this is $5 at Walmart. Just replace them with white or whatever it be. And then they're really loud, bright furniture. It won't be so intrusive when you walk in, all dark. And the picture guy will appreciate it. Yes.
That I have for my house, the eucalyptus mint, and you can get it in bulk on Amazon and you pay less. So then you can just give it to everybody and just take them with you in your purse.
It's like, are they the same brand? Wow. Thank you. Wow. Thank you. Yes, Black Friday. What other tips?
Coming up, I would say on Black Friday, go buy like as many as possible, because especially they'll have like a deal that's like buy 25 for $25, and it's insane. You're like, what am I going to do with 25? But that's 25 listings.
Yeah, you'll use it. Put that out there also that you're going to get 25 listings. Put out in the universe. That's right. One by one. So that is a must. Thanks for all the tips on that. Mr. Clean. Yes.
Is it very strong? Because sometimes people, like when we walk into houses and the smell is overpowering, we think, what are they trying to cover up?
Because we don't want houses with pets, right? So I will say that in the 20 years of that home building business, I never once had someone ask me, but of course it was a new home, so that might not work in that situation. Rugs cover things up. So you can reinforce that with fewer rugs. Only use rugs, like I said, to anchor furniture. Otherwise, they will. I don't know if you can work your magic. That's a really good point though. So house per house, everything's different. But I do think that if you do get asked that question, just say, well, I just wanted a pleasant smell for everyone. Yeah.
Like a pet, you can smell the undertone of a pet underneath the eucalyptus mint, right? That's what I think you're talking about, Jen, right?
Is that what you mean, Jen?
Tell a quick pet story.
I'm going to tell a quick pet story. So my husband and I staged a house. They had 2 large boxers, and I made them move all the pet stuff to the garage, the food bowls, the water bowls, everything like that. And they were just keeping them in the backyard. I think this wasn't last year. I think it was 2020. But they were in the backyard. The dogs were in the backyard because they couldn't remove them, working 2 weeks, lots of showings, no offers. Finally, I told him, I was like, okay, I'm just going to go get your dogs for a day. We're going to, try and cram as many showings as we can in that day. We ended up getting multiple offers, and it was all because, when people see pets or the evidence of pets, they're thinking like, where's the damage? What's wrong? So the second that I actually removed the physical dogs, we got offers.
That's incredible. Because even in addition to the smell, you can see scratch marks. Yeah. Yeah. With one of the houses that I was walking through last weekend, there was a whole shelf of cat food. That's what brought this on. And even though the home was empty actually, but I had that cat in my mind through the whole showing. So do you have anything else about that? Any other experiences you've had?
It's like she said, most of the time it is that they're trying to cover a smell, and we know they're trying to cover a smell. But that I smelled that, and it just smells clean and fresh.
So I think it's not too overcoming. So, oh dear. Oh, Boy, ladies, we need to buy that by the gallon. At least I do. That's good. Let's go buy that by the gallon. Okay, mulch. This is you may not. Mr. Clean is a miracle. You can get almost everything. If you don't want to repaint a lot, then Mr. Clean it. Scuffs. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Magic erasers. They get greasy prints on walls, on the paint. I just want the house to look like nobody's ever lived there as much as possible. And that's an inexpensive way to do it. Mulch is, if it's that time of year and if it's dead and stale, that is again, the first impression that they get. Have some boy in your neighborhood come and just lay a few bags to refreshen it. Yes.
I actually think depending on the yard that mulch, even in this time of, well, not even like in a month from now, when all the things are dead, a nicely refreshed mulch actually picks up a dead looking yard. And even though they're not expecting that in the winter, it's just that added touch. So, and it can be a fairly thin layer because nobody's expecting it to be, but I really think it can make a difference.
Oh, that is such a good point. Thanks, Daylise. Also, I don't know why I'm obsessed with black mulch and not red. Red's kind of gross. It's it's like too distracting.
The Zoomers have a question. What advice about dark walls should we suggest they paint?
Okay, that's a really good question, actually. So dark walls, they are coming back, to be honest. Just the one wall in a nice slate blue. Yeah. Yeah. If it's an accent wall, you might be okay. But if it's more than one area of the room, you might want to repaint. I mean, I'm obsessed with paint. I grew up with paint. My father owned paint. So if it was me, I would just match it because I want the room to look bigger, not smaller. And you can still maintain a decent size of a room visually with just one wall, but really, truly, if it's more than that. Because haven't you guys noticed right now, the homes that are out there are all the oil rubbed bronze gone to town. So there will be colors like red. There will be the desert sand travertines. So it's hitting us. It's coming back. No, it's never going to come back. Let's not let it come back. We are strong. Please. Oh, bless. I didn't mean to offend.
If it's on HGTV, it's coming back.
Oh, yes. So if you need a little inspiration, yeah, great point. Everyone knows. So, okay, shopping list. I got distracted. Lamps, we already talked about. I love Target lamps. This one I stole out of someone's office, so I'll have to tell her that later. Pantry organizers, we talked about that. Go to Walmart. I know the XO or the OXO brand is great, but truly, like you can get, IKEA has them, Walmart has them that work just as well. Steamer. Okay, pet peeve. You've got this house, perfect, and then you go to the master or one of the kids' rooms and their bedroom is just wrinkled. If you have a steamer, which I love the one at Costco right now because it acts as an iron or a steamer, just steam things to make them look like they haven't been slept in or drapes that haven't been mauled by children. Simple way. Also with the beds, make them kids' rooms. I have been in rooms where kids put these decals on the walls of superheroes. I can't do it. So that's a personal preference as you as an agent. It's too overwhelming for me. And then my last thought was just use what you already have. We all have nice homes with many nice things. And if you look around your house, hopefully now that this will trigger something. And I want you to this is what I envisioned of you after this class. I want you to put a basket full of all of these items and have them ready. And then that just makes you look that much better as a seller's agent. Like, great, you sign, let's work magic. If you don't have time, get someone that you know could qualify for that. So any other questions before we end? You guys are a good group. Daylise.
So going along with your idea of the staging basket. If you went to a listing and you knew ahead of time that there's a good chance that there's going to need to be a lot of decluttering and that kind of thing, at someone in your SOI that you've even been in their house before, would you take the basket still and then show, oh, we can use some of these things when you're ready, when you've done your decluttering, and this is some of the things we can do, and do it as just kind of a prop of the future? You would still do that?
Firm believer in complimenting them on what they have. They will have a beautiful lamp or a beautiful wood bowl and say, oh, this is perfect. I was looking for this. So we can do it in a delicate way too. That's a good point, Daylise. All right. Well, this has been a pleasure. You know where I'm at. If you ever have any questions, I know you're already experts, many of you. So I appreciate you coming and joining the hour with me. It was fun to be part of this. So